Hello, hello, Foxfires! How's my audio levels? Are we good? Welcome in. Zoom in. Also, Blaze, thank you for the tier 3 salutes. Demon General, Subby. Another month closer to the 4-year badge and time to stare at our hands for the next few hours. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Seems good? Okay, good. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yes, we are doing art today, Bacon. Hello. Hello, Rox. Hello, Sefim. Greenmo. Hi. Blaze, welcome in. Am I missing anybody? Inumaru! Thank you for the tier 2 Ghost Servant Subby for 31 months. Welcome to the Demon Army, Inumaru. Wow, let's go. Also, hi, LiLi. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing lovely. I had a very long nap today. I don't know why. I have been so tired lately and I have not been getting good sleep. Yesterday I had like a headache all day. And so today I woke up and I was still so exhausted. I started doing some art study and then it was like, I have to sleep. So I listened to the lesson and then I went and had like an hour nap. And then woke back up and I'm like, okay, keep studying. I did not eat more ice cream. No, not this time. Hello, Moxie. Looks like hands to me. So yes, our lesson today is going to be hands. Also, hello, Realities, and hello, Neve. Welcome into you too. And Fox, hi, Serene, welcome. Yeah. Camp Foxfire is still going strong because I don't have any other models, so we're sticking with the camp for now. But yes, we are going to be working on hands today, but like usual when we do these courses, I like to try to do like a practice just from whatever the last lesson was from last week, do a critique for anybody that wanted me to talk about anything that they worked on from last week, and then finish with doing the actual lesson for this week. So we will be working on hands, but first I figured we'll just go through and work on just doing the tracing proportions out on this figurine that I had. I was like, it's summery, it's fun. So I picked this one. And then yeah, we'll go through, do critique, and then hands after that, so. Chips Ahoy cookies and Hokkaido caramel boba. Oh my gosh, Fox, you gotta share with the class. That sounds amazing. I don't think I got anything this week other than the ones I posted. No worries. It's been a lot. I know it's been a lot for me to practice as well. So don't feel bad if you couldn't get in as much as you wanted to. So you're gonna have weeks and days and stuff like that. It's gonna happen. But today, yeah, I've just mostly been sleepy and I've just been studying art. So that's really all there's been to my day. I'm all warmed up. Warmed up for art. How did your boxes go, Blaze? Has your box practice been paying off? Wow, art! Yep, it's been a wow art day, Moxie. Have you still been doing art, Moxie? Have you been wow arting lots? Good, going good, better than before, awesome. Like to hear it, because hands is gonna be a lot of boxes too. Art is just a lot of boxes in general. I think this goes this way. So yeah, last week we worked on just doing these kind of trace overs with bodies, just getting, I would say, used to how the body gets broken down between like your rib cage, your pelvis, and your limbs. That's kind of what the breakdown of the last few lessons has been. That butterfly in. I shared with the class in Discord. Love to see. No, more boxes! Just did an M&D recently. Oh, very fun! Because I wanted to see if I still could do it, but I'm trying to figure out life in Indonesia. You're in Indonesia now! You're just traveling all over the place, Moxie. That's awesome. Need to work on what you gave me for critiques and catching the angle of the pose more. For sure. It's very hard. I'm not the best at it either. It takes some time too. See, I think this one's wrong too. Like I did it more front, but I think you actually see more side here. But that's just part of like, hey, this looks weird. Why does it look weird, you know? There we go. So classy. Gotta scroll to the bottom. Scroll to the bottom of today's class. Oh, also in the Discord, I did post some pinned messages, and those are for the hands class that Ilsham has for today. And then also Isham, I found, didn't go through as much about like the anatomy and where things come from in their course. So I kind of did my own course for today. So you're gonna get kind of like some bonus LiLi content that isn't in Isham's course today. So I also put up my Clip Studio PSD file and my PSD and my Clip Studio file. It's the same file there, file type. Just pick whether you use Photoshop or Clip Studio. But yeah, I put those in, and we're gonna kind of go over that for the beginning of today's class, just because like, I think she goes, like, hands are very complicated, and I think it'd be better for everybody and more beneficial if we really kind of broke it down. So I just break it down a little bit more than what they do in the course. So. Is Clip Studio Paint subscription now? Yes, kind of. You can get a perpetual license, but they are also eventually, like, they have a roadmap posted on everything, and it does show that they will be phasing out the perpetual license, so they are going to subscription model, which I hate, but I am locked into Clip Studio Paint, so. Hands aren't complicated at all. I use mine every day. I fail with mine every day, so, you know. I know, Gigi, I know. A facial expression is so how I feel. I'm gonna make some joints, some ankle joints. could barely find her hands in this pose. It's a little complicated, but that's good. Gives me practice. Like, again, I know Blaze, last time you were asking, like, oh, if the hand is hidden, should I still, like, draw it? It's definitely still good to still draw, because it'll give you good practice, right? So, like, this arm should be here. So now I'm just measuring the other arm for reference for how long it should be. Should be something like that. And then we're just gonna do the mittens with a little triangle. For hand reference, because we're not really worried about the hands right now. And then we're gonna find the middle of these discs and connect them to the middle of the leg. Right. And then I'm just gonna go over with blue. Another layer. I'm gonna drop this a little bit. Just start adding in our cylinders. I'm hanging out with the old version for a little longer before going to another subscription. Yeah. I've just basically got the subscription versions because I really wanted some of the new features. And I've just accepted my fate. So for my forearms, I always add kind of like a triangle shape. So like another thing, like kind of more like this shape instead of a straight cylinder. Like instead of just a straight cylinder like this. My elbow, I always give a little meat to the bottom of the elbow. Makes the elbow look like a little pointier. And it just has kind of more of the muscles in there. Reminder to, when you're doing your arms, remember that they're thicker. These cylinder limbs, right? They're thicker at the top than they are at the middle point for each part. So then this, so they just get slowly thinner and thinner, right? So don't forget that part as well. Thick arms. Again, we don't have to do the hands. You can skip the hands because we haven't learned them yet. I'm just gonna rough block them on. Mark the center line. We don't have to do the chest right now. Just making sure we have the rib cage. And then legs, you have kind of like the front, the shin part is always like a straight line. And then the back curves like that for your calf. Hello, Dragonator, welcome in. I thought I remember you mentioning drawing what's going to be hidden a while ago before the lessons, which is why I asked about it. Yeah, it's always good. Have you ever really studied them while you use them? Fun fact, they don't really have any muscles. They basically have drive-by-wire for hands? Drive-by-wire. Huh? I'm confused. Feet again. Not going to worry about them because that's not part of this lesson. This lesson is just about the body. Do the head. Here we go. All right. Pretty good. The package! I gotta go look. I totally forgot I was supposed to do that this week, Neve. I totally forgot. I'm gonna go write it on my whiteboard so I don't forget. And then we'll have it to open for next time. I meant to do that yesterday. I was supposed to do that yesterday. Gotta get those snacks. Is there snacks? I mean, I know you mentioned there was tahini, right? For me to try? All right, should we try one more pose to trace? Also, wait, Fox, you said that you posted your work in the Discord? I didn't see it. Did I misread? I swear you wrote. What else? What did you? I swear you said something about the Discord. Was that? It says there. I shared with the class in Discord. Oh, your food! I bet it was. It was the food. Boba and cookies. I was thinking art. I want the boba cookies. Boba. Boba. Yes. Wait, what is this? Dr. Pepper espresso? Or is it just regular? Wait, what kind of Dr. Pepper? Oh, dark berry. Interesting. You guys have been having crazy Dr. Pepper flavors lately too. There is some art on the screen. It's valid. Oh, tahini, another snack. Oh, I'm excited. Looked at your study and now I feel smart. I can say I injured my hypothenar part of my hand. Yes, you guys are gonna learn some hand parts. I don't even know how to say them. Oh, majority of your hand muscles are in your forearm. Yeah, there's tendons. There's a lot of tendons. We'll get to look at a lot of the pieces that make up the hand here soon. Let's grab another figure though. Or I could try to draw this one more freehand. Should we try that? That would be good practice. Let's just do that. Probably not gonna turn out well, but we could try. Ding! Alright. So I know Isham doesn't talk about doing this at all, but I think it's very good. Which is again just like tracing and then trying to draw it yourself. Like it's not gonna look very good or accurate, but it's good to do. Oh, that's the front. Chest should be about the same size. Did you see Wardo's drawing tablet feature? Yeah, it's so cool. I really liked it. I want it. I want it. I want it. Also, Oz, thank you for the subby. Why didn't I hear the noise? Thank you for the subby for 26 months. Oz, welcome to the Demon Army, of course. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in. Fox. Also, thank you for gifting a sub to Lezu. Lezu, welcome to the Demon Army. Thank you, Fox. An orca. Wait, you caught an orca? Out of that pond? Good, you've been tired. I've been awake for 23 hours. Oh my gosh, get some sleep, Oz. What have you been up for? I feel you though, like I've been super tired lately. Oh, an orca was chucked at me. An orca. I got a new job, but had to quit my old one suddenly because I didn't want to miss out on the new one. Seems like a really good fit for me. So I worked my last shift overnight and started the new job right after. Oh my goodness, Oz. Get some good rest. That is a lot. Are you enjoying the new place at least? Very rough, very quick. All right. The head's also a little bit too big. And my stomach didn't curve enough, but that's okay. Also, baby, thank you for the tier 3 demon general salutes to you. Subby for 13 months. Welcome to the Demon Army, baby. How you doing? Of course, hope you're doing well. It's not perfect, but Get the idea. Hello, baby. I've been abused. Haven't gotten into it, but it seems very ideal to me. I'd be doing video game support. Oh, that's awesome. It's all email and chat based. So I'm very excited. Oh, that sounds like a super awesome job, Buzz. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Sounds amazing. Definitely sounds like a good fit. We like video games here, so. All right. Cool. Well, there's basically some review from last week. Very quickly. So let's do. Any critiques? Although I don't know if many people have anything for critiques and stuff. Actually, I don't think anybody has any critiques, right? So we could probably just move right on to hands, unless there is somebody out there that wants some critiquing done for anything. It's work from home, yay! We love that, Oz. So we'll be able to catch more streams. Yay! Hype, 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 hype. Rudo! Thank you for the tier 2 Ghost Servant Subby for 19 months. Welcome to the Demon Army. Thank you. All hands on deck. Good on your end? Okay, cool. Then I think we could just start doing some of the lesson stuff today, which wouldn't be too bad because there's a lot for hands. I think there's a lot, so hands can be complicated. All right, I'm gonna save my work for what I did here. All right, I just watched LiLi in the office. I am office safe. I don't think you have to worry too much. Although I guess maybe if we're drawing art, maybe there'll be some artistic nudity here and there, but in general, you're pretty safe with the me on a work screen, I would say. All right, hydrated with some tea. Let's get into it. So, like I said, Isham's course didn't go over this stuff, but I felt like it was important to do, and it follows what we've been doing with all the other parts in their course, so I'm actually really surprised that they didn't include kind of this section. But I'm wondering if it might be because maybe some of the anatomy and stuff like that, it might have been more... The names and stuff like that aren't used as heavily in art, so maybe they didn't know them as well or something and they didn't go over it, or maybe they felt like it wasn't necessary. I don't know. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go over it because I think it'll be important for my art journey. So hopefully you guys will find it useful too. Hello, Pepe. So much abuse. So much abuse. Not so much, because unsafe, just jobs. Oh yeah, for sure. I know what you mean. Block any sort of media website. Absolutely. Get her! No! No! You opened the floodgates! The floodgates! This is fine. This is fine. Ah! The chickens! This is fine. But yeah, so for today, we're gonna start with just looking at the hand anatomy. So I actually went through and made all these pages so that I can easily do this. So first thing is all the finger number, or what the fingers are. So we have obviously, the thumb, right? The index finger, also known as the pointer finger, right? We have the middle finger, pretty self-explanatory. We got the ring finger, and of course the small or the pinky, some people will call it, right? So those are like basic names for them. And then for the different parts, of course you have these tendons that run down the back of the hand, right? So some people, they'll be like really distinct on. Other people, it might not, you might not be able to see them as easily, but there are these tendons that run from the fingers, and that's what makes your fingers move. And then also, I think it's kind of nice to note that the one on the thumb, right? Like if you're looking at it from the back, it kind of curls, like the thumb is a side view, whereas your other fingers are like straight at the back. Wait, don't tell her, what happened? Birthday beads! Is it your birthday? Baby, is it birthday today? You know what that means? You know what that means? It's singing time, isn't it? Is it your birthday? Pepe, is it true? Yes? All right, it's time for Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bibi. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Bibi. Congratulations on your full rotation around the sun for one more year. Yeah, all the birthday wishes. And then, yeah, so the tendons, so this green tendon here, right? This green tendon here will kind of like go down the side, right? Because it follows like the middle of the hands here. So just remember that the thumb, you kind of get more of a side profile of, whereas these are like a bird view, right? And then this is like your thumb turns to the side a little bit. So just something a little bit to note there. And then we have the wrist, obviously. That's an easy one. And then the different parts. So I have them colored here for blue, and then kind of an orange, and then a red. So these are the very, very tip is called the tip or the distal. So those are two different names. I kind of have these names. I don't know if these are necessarily like anatomically correct names, I guess. But I know this is the names that you call them for 3D modeling, which is really important to know for all your bones and distinction that way. So that's what I just use them for. But yeah, so the distal or the tip, that middle section is going to be the middle or the intermediate. And the last section, or these orange pieces, orangey kind of red, is the proximal or the basal. I think usually I'll go with distal, middle, proximal is usually what I use. But you can also use tip, intermediate, and basal. Those are just for like namings in 3D models. But I think it's good to see the different pieces for sure. So yeah, and then that's obviously the back of the hand is what that's called. And then for the hand, we have the other way, right? Which is your palm. So like that middle blue area is called the palmar. Probably where it gets the name palm from. And then, of course, we have this purple area. It's like that very meaty part of your thumb. It's called the thenar. I don't know how to say it properly, but like you can kind of like feel on your own hand. It's like that really meaty muscle that makes up your thumb. And it kind of makes this oval shape almost. Plot twist, didn't know it had an R to it. I don't know. That's called the palmar, or palmar, I don't know, in the middle. And then the outer, you also have like on your palm, there's also that other outer meaty section, which is the hypothenar. Basal almost sounds like base, like the base of your finger. Yes, basal, that's how I remember it, is like it's like the base of the finger. So that's why I always remember basal. Proximal can be a little bit harder to remember. So if tip, intermediate, and basal is easier for you to remember because of the B for the base and the T for the tip or the top, that's a great way to remember them. So, and then for drawing, we also have like some lines, right? So often like that thenar gets emphasized in drawing, or there's like a line, right, that gets put here. And like sometimes here it kind of like comes to like almost like a Y. So those often get drawn in sometimes in art. And then your palm lines too, palmars. And then you also have these little wrist lines, right? Wrist crease. So like when you bend your wrist forward, you have like some lines there, right? That kind of follow the bottom of that palm. So those get drawn too. And we have the side profile of like a finger. This is just like for general art. It's something that you'll notice like when we draw a finger, the very top of the finger will often be drawn going up, right? So you can kind of see like I have these lines kind of curve up like this, right? And then on the bottom side of the finger is when they round in. So that's just like another like tip for when you're drawing. They kind of curve in a little bit more. So I have that written down here too. Up here. So yeah, top of the finger, lines curve up. Bottom of the finger, lines curve down or in. So it's like a convex, concave situation. So yeah, those are kind of just like the names of the different parts. So again, I think it's useful to just kind of know these wordings, again, in the same way that we did all the other pieces like the lips and stuff like that, because even if we simplify things, it's like good to know where those muscles and names and things come from. So yeah, Isham didn't have that, but I just did it because I think it was very important. Okay, so then our kind of first step, in the same way that after we learned, like for our head, for example, after we learned what the different parts were, the eyes and stuff like that, we found like those ratios for a hand. Again, Isham doesn't really say this exactly in their tutorial, but it's something that I learned, and that's your kind of, I guess, golden ratio for the hand. Again, is this your middle finger and your palm are the same length, right? So they're the same distance from here to here as it is here to here. So it's halfway point is at your middle knuckle, essentially, right? So that's kind of the ratio or base size you're gonna be using for that. And then a lot of the times your thumb will have this triangle section. A lot of artists will draw a triangle section that comes off the side here for that basal portion of the thumb, right? We had that, right? This proximal basal piece is the kind of the shape of a triangle. And I don't know if there is an exact measurement for where that triangle should come out. This is just a picture of my hand that I took to use this as a reference. So my proximal like knuckle is about 1/3 of the way up on this number right here, right? I don't know if that is a actual fact or if that is just my hand. I have no idea, but it was just something that I took note of, and we'll probably use it as a guide going forward for myself, because this can change a little bit, but you're still gonna have that knuckle somewhere around here. Like if your thumb is moving out or in, it's gonna follow a curve in somewhere in that direction, right? Am I gonna need a picture of my hand? It definitely helps too. Also, hello Shade Darkfire, welcome in to Art Day. We're studying the hand today. Yeah, so that's the first. And then your thumb, you can still have it just drawing off of this in a block for the thumb. But one thing to make a note of is that your distal joint, right, for your thumb lines up to your knuckle joints here. So like you could draw a curve and it all connects together. So that's like an important one to note for proportioning, right? Is that's where the middle of that box should be line up in a curve to those other knuckle pieces. And then I think that's everything for blocking. Let's see. Yeah, so you got the, yeah, that's everything. So the middle finger is the same length as the palm. So I was like, finger is the same length, but it's like technically it's your middle finger. So remember that, because the middle finger is the longest finger always, right? So that's what's gonna take up that 1-to-1 ratio. It's the middle finger, not all the fingers. And then your thumb, basal made with a triangle shape. And then the thumb distal joint lines up with the knuckles. So that's that green curve that we were talking about. The thumb is the Ghibli figure of the group. Yes, absolutely. But it does have still the same knuckles. It's just farther down. You're technically missing there's like bones inside here. And that's the one that the thumb is missing. So there's like a bone, a bone, a bone, and then a bone. And then there's like a lot of bones in here that I have no idea, but we don't need to be super anatomically correct. But your thumb has only these ones, essentially. So it still has the same makeup, but it just doesn't, it's like attached to the base of the palm instead of having this little piece. Yeah, so that's blocking out the proportions. And then the next step would be to curve out these pieces, right? So I'm just kind of like quickly going over kind of the process, and then I'm gonna go through and redraw over my hand again too. So I always like to just like kind of explain the process first, get a kind of a mental roadmap of what we're gonna be kind of doing, and then practice it myself. So for these, we are adding the curve for the fingers here, right? So we're making this curves because obviously our fingers are not all the same length. So we add in a curve, and Isham kind of mentions this, but yeah, pay attention to the negative space here, right? You're gonna have more space taken out between the middle finger and the pinky than you will on the first finger and the middle finger, right? So keep in mind this negative space when you go to make that curve. And then also your joints here are gonna follow the same
kind of curve as this line. So that will also kind of help you draw that curve, is following where your joints are located for the hand, right? And then for the actual physical hand, again, same thing when you're doing the palm section, rounding out those curves on the knuckles. And again, the same thing, you'll probably end up taking more out from here than you do from here, right? And then just rounding it around the wrist, and then also just kind of like connecting and rounding out that triangle will give you your palm, right? So this is your palm shape. Like that. So yeah, the next step was adding the curves. And then after that, this is gonna be kind of like a pretty simple picture, but it is very, very important for this. So the hand, I think I accidentally erased the lines for this, but basically it's important to draw these fingers out. So it's good to draw like dots on where you want your joints, right? And then adding a line between them, right? So making a note where all the joints are and then adding just a straight line. So for this hand example, it's really simple because it's just straight lines, right? There's not really anything complicated, but once you get to more complicated hand shapes, and like when the hand is like closed or fingers are closed, like making a fist or doing peace signs or something like that, that's where these lines and stuff are gonna be your guiding marks. And they're actually very, very important to know like where you want your hand and fingers and stuff to go. So it may look really odd and just tedious because it's just straight lines in this photo example, but don't skip this step, essentially. So yeah, and it's just basically marking out on those curved lines where your fingers will go. And the sections, I believe, are all roughly the same size. I think these ones might be a little bit longer. And then they shorten maybe just like a little bit tiny for the next ones, but they're all roughly about the same size. You could probably count it as like, if this is 1, this would be like 0.9, and then like 0.8, you know? So yeah, adding the finger guides. And then after that is just adding your actual physical fingers on top, which are done by making cylinders. So you just have like cylindrical shapes, right? Little cylinder. And you can add the little lines if those help you visualize the tube a little bit more, because a finger is just a tube. Just a tube like this, right? A little cylinder for each section of the finger. And that's basically it. After that, it's just kind of like making your lines around and stuff. And you can add in lighter lines for like knuckles or tendons and stuff if you want it to look more realistic and stuff like that. Fingernails, that kind of sort of thing at the end. But yeah, so that's basically the rough finger process. So I figured I'll go through and I'll just kind of do this again with this picture. Of my hand. So yeah, now you can kind of basically, if you're drawing, follow along. So I'm gonna start with drawing a box. Around fingers. So normally, if you were drawing these in a different position because this picture, is like basically an aerial photo. So it's just like a top down of a hand. You don't need to basically draw the full box, but you could imagine if we do like a different position, instead of this being a square, you would be then drawing a cube, right? So we'll do another example. We'll do another one of these later. But for right now, to just make it simple, since we're just starting, it's easier to think in terms of 2D rather than 3D right now. So that's what we have. And then we can even copy this. I think technically I have longer hands, but you get the idea there. I have very long fingers. And then my triangle is about a third up. Box, and that still kind of lines up, so that's right. And then we have, so that's first step is blocking out your square shapes. I think Isham calls them erasers. I learned that I hate looking at a picture of my hands. Oh, absolutely. Hands will never look normal, no matter how like you draw them and how like you take a picture and stuff. If you stare at it for too long, hands always just look weird. And I think that's just why artists hate drawing them. So if you stare at them too long, it starts to make no sense. All right, so that's the blocking out the proportions. And now my next step. So we did step one, blocking everything out. Step two is gonna be adding our curves in, right? So, and then yeah, remember the negative space, you're gonna have way more on this side than you do this side. Technically this hand position, my finger came out a little bit, but. And this is also, a lot of people call this like the mitten method, I believe. Is another name for this, because it's like you're drawing a mitten. It's gonna be, again, roughly placed for the joints, and then the palm. Just kind of curve this out. Pill shape for a thumb. So there is our curves. is to add in our knuckles, right? Our knuckles are joints and finger guides. Did I do a certain color for those? Kind of, but not really. So on these. But yeah, I think the biggest thing too is to also note that your hands, they don't just go straight across, right? They follow a line. Like, I know a lot of people when they first like get started, their fingers, they tend to make all the same height. Like even if they'll kind of do like this, right? And then they might still like do the longer part here, but all their knuckles line up straight like this. And it makes the hand look very stiff and awkward. So just remember that they're on a curve. Instead of a straight line. And I'll help it make it look a lot more natural. And again, all hands also kind of look different too. So one might look very different than another. It's kind of the same thing we talked about like with heads too, right? Like everybody has different head shapes and proportions, but it's good to get an idea of like kind of a golden ratio head first before you start kind of like messing around with things too much. Finger lines. Connect them. I'll put it in the middle. There we go. And then of course, the last step would be adding in those cylinders. So again, because I have kind of a top-down view, those cylinders are basically just gonna look like squares essentially. Another thing you can kind of do too is the fingers also get slimmer towards the end. So in the same way that we like made our, you know, like our arms and stuff like that get smaller, the finger joints also slim down towards the top too. So keep that in mind as well. Leah, do you have a current song stuck in your head or one that's been on loop for a week or so? I did. What was I singing yesterday? Oh, I've been having, it's like a fan-made Has Been Hotel song. And it's, I don't remember the other person that sings it, but I know it's got Leanne Lee in it. what is it called? It's like Partners in Hell or something. What is it? We'd make a hell of a team. Hell of a team. That's what it's called. I got there. Hell of a team. I've had that song stuck in my head. Very good song. And then, obviously, the last step is to do our last layer of our finger. And another thing that a lot of artists will do too is they'll leave like little gaps like where the knuckles are to make it look kind of broken up. Some artists will do that. Oh, and then I've also had the Kokia song stuck in my head a lot too, actually. Do you follow the artist that made the art for the visual song? Oh no, I have no idea who it is. Artist goated? Who is it? So kind of right now, I think for your hand practice, a good thing would be to kind of get used to the feel of maybe drawing the fingers and stuff, which could be just like how Isham got us to trace over like body parts. I think it would be a good idea to just start by tracing over a couple of different hands to get used to it. So whether it be you could take your own pictures of your hand, or you can find hand references. I did include kind of a multi-hand position. But yeah, just starting by tracing and getting used to it will help a lot. So, Kawanosi. Oh, I have not heard of them before. I'll have to check them out. All right, so yeah, there's kind of the rough idea of drawing a hand. So let's try doing a more complicated example. Call that a practice trace. There you go. So I did have it in my Photoshop files. I put this in because I was like, oh, this is a pretty good like reference of a different hand poses and stuff like that. So let's just take like the first one. Or maybe I should start with something more simple. Sure, let's just start with like a basic open hand. Like this one. Start still super simple. It's gonna be very blown out, but that's okay. So I'm gonna try to draw now. So I think still if you're just starting out, feel free to, again, just kind of trace and copy over the hand. But if you want to challenge yourself, you can start trying to draw it on your own, right? So basically just like the blind method. So we're gonna have and I mean, you can also draw these on your own without like without like a picture, but I really strongly urge you to have a reference when you're drawing. So I'm pretty sure Isham, when they drew theirs, they didn't have a reference. But I think it's strongly encouraged, especially if you're just starting out, to have a reference image, because you're gonna learn a lot more. So this I just put in for the sizing, and then our triangle. See, now this one looks like instead of about a third, well, you know, I think it could still be a third. And then the thumb. Longer. And again, it's kind of no different than, that does not feel like it lines up. I think it needs to be a bit bigger. That feels better. It's just like the same thing like when we were doing the heads, you know, like you put in your rough lines and you try to get them as perfect as you can, but it's not always going to be exactly perfect and stuff. And feel free to like move or change proportions and sides like as you go, and as you see something like, oh, this doesn't look like it fits properly and stuff. That is what art is. It's just constantly changing and editing and stuff until your eye's happy with it. So yeah, there is our first block, right? So our first blocking for this hand. Turn to blue, lower the opacity a little bit. We're gonna do our next. Next layer. This is O'Neill's lo-fi mix. I guess, I don't know if it's lo-fi, maybe it is. It's just cute piano music is what it's called. Send it to you there. It's a very good mix of music. All right. So, our next step, again, is going to be rounding out our parts. So, rounding out our knuckles. Hello, Ishigun, welcome in. And so for this hand, right, the fingers are more spread open, right? So we're gonna have a bigger fan shape. So we're gonna have more like, I'm gonna turn it this way just so I can draw it better. Don't be afraid to change your canvas around. Come outside of the box, because if you look at these fingers, right, this line is still pretty straight. So their finger isn't super curved up like this, right? So I'm gonna keep this line relatively straight, and it's mostly the other fingers that are gonna be following down. And then I drew this as a straight line, but remember the pinky goes down lower than the other parts, right? So we're going to take off a little bit. All right, so there is our mitten shape. Here we go. And then next step is to add in our joints. Add this as blue layer again. I'm going to lower this one even more. So the thumb one is an easy one. Then we're gonna have, so we're just gonna follow that same curve that we already did, and then add another one below it, like so. And then to put our joints on, we have knuckle, 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 2, 3, 4. All right. So I might exaggerate this a little bit, but these two are like closer than the last one. And almost tapered in a little bit. There we go. Cloro! Hi guys, where has the time flown? Cloro, welcome to the Demon Army for 44 heckin' months. It's a lot. Is there a way of finding images that won't be blurry when you size it up a little bit? finding larger image sizes. That's about it. Because the blurriness is from upscaling it, right? All right. So we add another layer. And then our last step here is making our joints. So this picture that I had, the reason why it's like blurry is because it's a giant picture and I took a little tiny piece off of it and just like blew it up to way bigger. But for this exercise, it's kind of fine because we're just taking the shape of the hand, right? As an example. Oh, and then of course too, there's like your fingers down here are rounded. Like you have like a little bit of like webbing, a little bit of finger webbing between. It's like another little kind of detail. Yeah, don't forget, make the fingers smaller as they go up. I think my last finger joint might be a little bit wide, so I might make it a bit smaller. I sleep. Have a good night, Lily. Beat the secret boss of drawing hands. Thank you, Oz. Sweet dreams to you. Thanks for hanging out, and congrats on the job again, too. Get some good rest. I'm Spider-Man? Of course. Good image size to keep an eye out for. I mean, anything like in the thousands would probably be better. 1,000 pixels? I don't know. It kind of depends a little bit too. And then, yeah, reminder, the thumb is on its side, remember? So remember to draw the thumb from the side angle. And then of course, this is the palm. So we're gonna have this part. So again, it's the palm, so we can draw in that thenar and the hypothenar if we wanted. With some light lines. Just to indicate that it is the palm. And then yeah, I think I did my distal just a little bit too long, so I'm just gonna go in and shrink it a little bit. Something like that. And then again, you could take this even further, drop it down like another opacity, and then do like a more cleaner. Run on top. So again, top. Remember, the curves kind of go this way, right? Except for the nail bed. And then the underside, you have a little more of that fleshy bump. And then I have a little bit of a bump for the knuckle. So it's just kind of like in the same idea that we did all those rough layers for the head. We're doing the same thing again for the fingers. And I'm trying, when I do the individual fingers, I'm trying to make it one curve. So like one quick line just between each section. Maybe like a little bump right where each of those joints are. It's of course not gonna look perfect, but I feel like I'm at a tea party with the music. It's very cute. And like any artist, I also hate drawing hands. So I also feel like I am very bad at them. And that's why we practice. And your wrist actually has like a little bump on it too. It's got like these little bumps on the side. Oh, and we forgot, or I almost forgot the wrist crease. There we go. So there's kind of like our finished hand. The box for the finger is supposed to line up with the box for the palm. Yes. Yeah. When you're doing your first stage blocking? Correct. Is that what you're referring to? So like this layer, right? Hope you can see it. Yep, and they're scaled 1-to-1, Blaze. So that's that first section here, right? That's just to get the rough proportion that your middle finger is the same length as your palm. Again, it can be like smaller or longer depending on people's hands. Some people have longer fingers than other people and stuff, right? But just generally speaking, in the same way we keep like the golden ratio for the heads, we do 1-to-1. So yeah. Can also draw. Some people will draw little lines for where their joints are as well.
Jazster Cat, thank you for the raid. Foxfires, go give some love to Jazz. And welcome in, Raiders. How was your stream? Welcome, welcome. My name's LiLi, and right now we are doing a art course on hands. But we've done a bunch of different lessons. If you use ! Art playlist, you can find the whole thing there. But Wait. Emma can. Thank you for the subby for 6 months in advance. Stinky Water, welcome in. What the heck? Thank you. What were you guys up to though? What kind of stream were you doing? Oh, wait. You're playing Guild Wars 2? I heckin' love Guild Wars 2. What were you doing? I heckin' love Guild Wars 2. What were you doing in it? I haven't played since the last expansion, the Bubbles. The water update though. I don't know if they've probably added a lot since then. Were you doing anything specific? Were you like PvP, PvE? Oh, running through the story from the beginning. Oh, in preparation for the next X-Pack month. Oh, that's very exciting. I missed Secrets of the Obscure. Is that what came out after? After Bubbles? Oh, I'm looking it up right now. Secret of the Obscure. I need to get back and play some more. Oh, yeah, I don't know what this is. Ooh, new skill combos. Ooh. Well, that's awesome. Guild Wars has a great story. I love the Guild Wars story. What part did you make it up to for this stream? Also, hydrate, posture, stand, and stretch. Thank you. Hey, stretchy. Ugh, big stretches. Wait, what the heck? Amakan, thank you again for 6 months of sub for Jaster Cat. Thank you. Just finished level 70 quest. I don't know what part that is in the story because I just also leveled up to 90 and then redid the story myself. I just got an account to 90 and then redid. I paid money to be OP. So I don't remember. I just know the general story. Yeah, thank you so much, Amakan. I super appreciate it. Oh, there was a follow-up question. All right, hold on. I'm scrolling. Pinky just sticks out of the box when it's out further. So yes, so I drew the box for this example. I just drew the box straight just so that I had the size distance set right here, right? So that I knew we were going out this far, right? But in this pose, like if you were to take this palm, right? The box would be more like this that we just did, right? So that pinky does stick out, right? So that was when I did the curve. I added in the curve during the curve portion. And to do that, I made the curve straight to start and then cut it off for the pinky. Because remember that like distance was more off for the pinky. So that's what I ended up doing. Yeah, thank you very much again, Jazzercat, for coming in and sharing your community with me. If you have to go rest up after your stream, I know how it is, so please take care of yourself. But yeah, I appreciate it. If you ever get back in Guild Wars 2, I'd love to follow along. Yeah! It's an amazing game. I really, really love Guild Wars. I wish I had more friends that played it, honestly. Because I'm the only one out of my friend group that plays it. Actually, I have one other friend. But they're always like super far ahead compared to me, so. No worries, Blaze. I'm glad that helps. Yeah, it's kind of like you can kind of do either way. So I just draw the square straight from the box just to get, because it's easier to draw it that way, right? And then I can basically look at the curve during the curve stage, right? And I can add that in after. Because I feel like
it's easier to just draw a straight box to get the right size for the hand first, and then add in the other details. Can I make a ticket or email them on a new account to recover the old one? Ah, yeah, for sure. I haven't played Guild Wars in years. Tried to get my account back, but it was a loss. So sad. Oh, I did the same 7 years ago. I'm happy that I've never lost any of my accounts. Yeah, so that was this hand practice. I feel like my pinky here is a little bit small. Just gonna make it a little bit wider. Go. Okay, this one might be a little bit thin too. There we go. One hand, complete. Yeah, the curve continues, exactly. I love Guild Wars 2. The guild I ran has gone inactive. Yeah, that'll happen. So I got my family playing it with me. Oh, that's awesome though. All my friends jumped over to Final Fantasy. Yeah. Yep. I can see that for sure. But yeah, I'm the same way too. Like all my friends play Final Fantasy, but I like Guild Wars. So I'm just like, I'm alone doing my Dragon Quest. But I did manage to get all my mounts, so it was a long, difficult struggle playing through by myself because I also chose to play the sniper class. So I was just a super glass cannon, and there's a lot of storyline quests that you need to have things tank for you. Really hard to do solo, and I'm like, wow, I really made this hard mode for myself, didn't I? Last a few days of art because me and my friends stayed up till 4 or 5 playing Final Fantasy 14 lately. Yep. Mood. Yeah, story is rough with certain classes. It's okay. I like, because I played the sniper and basically there's like, it's like a thief class and you can have one ability where you summon like thieves to help you. So I would just summon them and then send them off to tank for me and then try not to get hit. I'd be like, go, tank for me, NPCs. And that was how I made it through. Got AFK and Lumsa with Calypso Bane open. Mood. Yep, basically what I'm doing. Yeah, Elementalists are squishy too. Selling Elementals a tank for me. Yep. It's a necessity. Alright, so let's try. Just gonna squish all these layers together. Actually, I basically just want to just hold them. There we go. Call this hand practice 1. So let's now pick a more complicated pose. Maybe we'll try the peace hand now, because it's definitely way easier to draw when you have it's easier to draw a hand when you don't have like the complicatedness of knuckles closing. So we'll do this one next. Leave the other one up. picky because I keep seeing it. This one should be a little bit smaller.
It's better. Gonna lurk while it goes down. Of course, Chester. Thank you again so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. Of course, you're welcome anytime. All right, so
We're gonna start with our box. So again, I'm picking hand poses right now that are straight on, but we can definitely, I think, do the ones with the 3D poses as well. I know Isham, in Isham's course, they definitely start by doing like the box method, but I think to start, because hands are very complicated, it's easier to start with ones that are looking at the camera straight like this, rather than something like, say, you know, like this one or this one, right? You're gonna have much more of like, it's going to be a box shape like this, right? So I'm just starting simple for now. I don't know if you're able to see that, right? More like a box. So, just starting simple. So that's something to keep in mind when you're picking poses to practice. Start again, something simple first, and then we can increase the complexity later, so. In the same way that, like, remember when we did our heads, right? We started just drawing front view and like side view and stuff, right? Side views, because those are easier to draw than the 3/4, for example, right? Because that's when you start getting into more of the third dimension. So we're gonna start simple with the box first. Just gonna put another box on top for our fingers. And then again, I'm gonna draw the basal of the thumb, about 1/3-ish. Let's draw. This person has a bit of a hitchhiker's thumb. So I guess if we want to draw that, we can. So this is, again, comes down to everybody's hands are a little bit different shaped. Instead of a straight rectangle, I'm just gonna have it bend back here a little bit. You have to twist and turn that box, and oh boy, that's hard. Yep, absolutely, Fox. Even if you're on the road with no references, yep. Okay, it's a real complicated, real fast. right. So there is our first blocking. Let's add another layer, drop this. Now we're gonna draw our curves. So when I draw these curves, I like to orientate my hand the same, like up and down, basically, because it just makes it easier for me to draw in that curve shape evenly. And again, we're taking off more from the pinky side. Then we do the other side. There's our palm. I'll be at work and I'll find a pen and paper and I'll doodle something and my coworkers are like, oh my God, you can show me how you drew that? I just look at them like, I don't even know what I did. That is too relatable. I don't even know what I'm doing. Think I could teach it? This is why I'm like, I can't teach you guys how to draw. I'm trying my best here, but I don't even know what I'm doing. All right, and then so our finger curves. So again, I'm going to draw in the same curves. Even though the hand is closed, I'm just still gonna block out that shape. Still gonna draw that whole mitten. Merge that down. Let's draw the next step. So after we curve out the palm, we add in our joints, right? Oh, I guess I could have added it to this layer. Too late. You're doing great though, 100%. Thank you, Fox. All right. So we have one joint, joint, joint. Make sure they're even. These fingers go straight up. So now this is again where things are going to start getting complicated. I'm still learning. Plus, for me, this helps because I'm a visual learner instead of me just going to Pinterest and looking up hand poses and trying to copy those hands and all. For sure. Let me tell you, my art has greatly improved with the classes. Aw, thank you so much, Fox. I appreciate that. I mean, I've been learning a lot from Isham personally too. Like, I've seen huge increases in my art since I picked up the course. So I'm happy that if me learning through that can help other people learn in the same way, then that makes me so excited to hear. Okay, so I'm gonna hydrate again before this. 7's hydration. Because I remembered to do the stretch, but I forgot to hydrate. Okay, so for these knuckles, this one is going to be, you're going to essentially skip this knuckle, right? Because this proximal finger is coming straight out of the page at you, right? Like if this is like your X, Y, your Z is coming out of the page, right? It's a piece of paper. Right? You're coming straight out of the page. So it's just going to be essentially a dot. So you'll end up, you could do it like, if you wanted, like a little bit up. But it's essentially coming out the same distance. I'm gonna draw another color. And we're going to represent, so this is now the intermediate or the middle, right? So we're going to have roughly like that. And roughly like that. For our middle, and then for the distal or the tip, right? You're only just gonna see a little tiny bit of it because that same knuckle is now going to be going back into the page, right? So again, you're wanting to think about how those shapes work in 3D, right? Oh, and then, of course, our thumb. There we go. So those are our fingers. So that's where I meant, or this is where I was talking about where the drawing in those guides is going to be very helpful when things get more complicated, right? You're gonna want to not skip this step, especially once we get into working in 3D, not something in like a 2D flat space like this, but when something is more foreshortened or changed and stuff, you're really gonna wanna add in those fingers guides as a guide. And also when you're doing art too, some artists like will skip, like for example, like doing the mitten stage or doing the curved stage and stuff, and they'll just go straight to adding these fingers in. And that's just because they've gotten good at just kind of getting these shapes done in their head. And then they can just skip straight to fingers. But I think it's very good, especially when you're first starting out, to not skip those steps and do everything out. In the same way, the head, right? We didn't skip the steps in doing the head. Same thing with the hands here. is to add in our cylinders. And connection pieces. And yeah, don't forget, if you need to move your canvas around, make it easier to draw. It helps a ton. My little sausage links here. Trying to keep in mind that it gets smaller, just a little tiny bit smaller for each little finger. All right, and then we have, so again, you're gonna have, I'll draw it lightly. Remember, you're gonna have this cylinder, because now you're gonna see more the top of the cylinder, and then this part will be hidden. For that basil finger, is going to be, the proximal basil is going to be sticking straight out into the page, right? So again, you're going to see the top of that rectangle and the underneath part. And then select the hand. And then the next one. And you're gonna have that top portion. It's pretty much gonna cover the exact same curve. My hand still looks like if I tried drawing a hand as if it was like a class thing to draw a hand for biology class. Not very good. You'll get better though. So there's our next little wedge, sausage link. index. And then again, you would see like the back of the circle, right? The back of the finger, which would then merge into fingertip. Technically, I think it would be a little bit more rounded. More like that. It'll be a little bit foreshortened. But there you go. The rough little sausage links done. And then you can basically make one more layer on top of that. That's more your finished look. Draw on our palm crease. Those palm lines for the thenar, the hyperthenar, and the palmar. And then also the connection here between like the thumb and finger are also still connected by kind of like a webbing. In the same way that you have like that webbing between your each finger, the thumb and pointer finger are no different. They still have that kind of skin between. It's just much bigger and larger because of that ulnar muscle in there. Yeah, I think it's very important when you're doing hands, especially, to have a reference. Because hands can get very, very complicated because there's so many moving parts. And I think it's better to have a reference. Like you'll draw a better hand when you have a reference with you. So if you're drawing like a piece of artwork and you have to have a hand in there, you know, don't be afraid to just like take a picture of your hand in the same angle and position and use that as a reference. You'll really thank yourself. A lot of the times, that's pretty much like only way I'll draw hands is using a reference of my own hand. Made my pointer finger, I think, a little small. Put these lines in. Pinky. Some fingernails on. And then you don't. Oh, and then I didn't do them long enough. Definitely way too short. Always have a habit, it seems like, to always draw my fingers a little too slim.
just do some touch-ups. And some lights. There we go. Ta-da! Another hand. Complete! Yeah, it takes practice. Yeah, make the gesture eyebrow and look at it. Or also just like, it's good to take pictures because you can't always get the hand into the position you need it to look at it when it's on yourself. Sometimes it can be tricky. There is a reason why artists hate drawing hands, absolutely. All right, we're gonna pick one that is more three-dimensional, and we're gonna make an attempt at that one as probably our final one, now that we've done a couple of simpler ones. And before I do that, I am going to go turn a light on, because it is getting dark. Look at my hand IRL and stare at it with annoyance. Why do you have to be so complicated? Absolutely. Hey, yuppie! Big yuppie! Alright, light on. I can definitely see though, my hands definitely are looking better than they usually are, so the practice does help. I think blocking it out from step one really makes a huge difference, because I think whenever I was trying to draw hands and stuff, I'd always just go, like, I've always been taught not that first step of drawing the box. So like in the same way that we did our bodies, like, right, where we started with a box and then we made like a rounded curved thing afterwards. When I was taught how to draw hands, I was always taught to draw like this shape and do the mitten, right? But I was never taught to do like, you know, make sure that the box is 1-to-1, you know, between your palm and your middle finger and all those steps. I missed that original building block, and in just doing these two hands, freehand with looking at a reference and doing the box and breaking it down to that shape first, huge difference for me. Huge difference. So definitely don't skip that step. It's important. Hydrations! Stretch and rotate them. Hand discs, thank you, ear wiggles. Get a couple of those in, couple reps. And sip the tea. I made myself a, it's called Sunny Tea. It's like a David's tea blend. And then I added a little bit of grapefruit juice to it. So I did a cold brew of the herbal tea. Added some grapefruit juice to it. It's very good. All right, so there's 2 hands there. Let's see. Call this examples. Oh, I think I know which one I'm gonna grab. Let's grab this one. What do you think? Should we do this one? It's kind of like a side profile. A cone hand? I don't think I'm up to cone level yet. Is there a cone on here? Oh, there is a cone. Kinda. That looks really hard. I kind of wanted to try one from a side though, because we've done a lot of back of palm, front, like palm and back of hand, like straight ons. But I think a side one will be a good example to work on too. And this will really showcase that making a box method. Rather than a square. So let's try this. I'm gonna start by tracing over it to get started. Because this one's gonna get a little more complicated. So I kind of want to see my building shapes first. Oops. So there's those side boxes. Maybe I didn't pick a great example because it's just a square. It's just side profile instead. But it is increasing in dimension. The graceful hand poke. Is that what we're calling it? Ugh. Alright, so again, this is like the back of the hand, right? And this is like in the middle. You kind of see those two, and then that's the top. So draw. This is our triangle portion. So again, we're just doing the same shapes.
just putting them into 3 dimensions now. You can see how things get a lot more complicated very quickly. Okay. Those are my oops. My rough boxes, they're not perfect because it's complicated, but you get the idea. So now let's drop that shape. Do another one for curse. Just gonna do the next joint down and the next joint down again. We're just gonna follow that same curving pattern. feel like I got a rough idea now. Kind of the shape. Let's try to draw it on our own now. Oh boy. So this is a tricky one. Start with box. When we draw the cylinders, were we drawing those with the curves for the figures or just straight lines? The cylinders are more curved. Yeah, the straight line is kind of more when you draw the finger guide. Those can be more your straight. And then the cylinders are more like round little chunky sausages. Oh, I probably said box. Sorry, box. They are very similar. You're good, you're good. Alright, drop that opacity a bit. And do more of the curves. My little fan shape. And then we have that Thanar. Thumb. fingers.
Enjoy the lurk, Paisley. And also welcome in. Also, thank you for the follow and welcome to the Foxfires. Go. Welcome to art learning. So yeah, we got that curve for the finger. Oh, I forgot to add the other curves for the other joints. See, almost skipping a step. So we're just gonna follow that first curve we made. And then follow the next curve. Which kind of goes behind. There we go. Oh, and then of course the knuckles. Okay, so we got our 3 curves down. Let's draw the joints. Also, Nicholas the Saber, thank you for the follow and welcome to the Foxfires. Go. And a double. Go. The first one's free. So yeah, we draw our fingers there, and then these joints are gonna be all kind of like almost overlapping each other because of this angle. Kind of like that. And then again, this finger knuckle will be here somewhere. Cool art. Thank you. We're doing some study today. So I've been doing a study course every Tuesday for almost 2 months now. We have a playlist. If you do art playlist, it'll bring up all the videos that we have covered so far. But right now we're working on hands. Ooh, about to finish your art. What are you working on? Oop, also I hit my microphone. Mic abuse. There's our fingers. Roughed in. I'm just gonna add the add in our tubes for the fingers. Has it only been 2 months? I think so. I think about 2 months, right? I think we started in May? But we had like a month break in there too. Or was it April? It might have been April or May. It was after I got back from... No, it was before OdaFest, right? So it was before May. Since I started the course. Yeah, when did we start? I guess you could look at the first recording and find out, right? Anime characters?
That's nice. Mainly draw with my girlfriend. Man, that's awesome. Let's see, what does this VOD say? What does the VOD say? How long we been doing this course for? But we did have Camp Foxfire, so we did miss a couple of weeks there. And I think there was 1 week that I was sick. Or I had a headache and I couldn't draw or something, right? April 9, there you go. And then yeah, we missed at least 4 weeks, so that's at least 1 month in there. So, month of April, say Tuesday, or Tuesday, April, May, June, and now July. We skipped a month, so okay, almost 3 months maybe. 3 months now we've been drawing. I want to say it on the improvement. Big ups on everyone who's been working hard. Yes, huge ups to everybody that's been sticking it out, because it's not easy. It can get very tiring very quickly. I'm very happy that we've been doing this as a course all together too, because I feel like for the first few like little bits, I'm always like really gung-ho on doing it myself, but then I find that I tend to lose steam, and then because I lose steam for like 1 month or something like that, then my brain's like, oh, I don't want to like go back because I skipped a week or something. So like, because of Camp Foxfire, like if that was like on my own and I wasn't doing this with you guys, like after Camp Foxfire, I probably wouldn't have gone back to it, because I would have been like, oh, I just already lost so much practice time, and I would have been like super hard on myself. But because I knew that I had you guys sticking me to it, I was like, no, I gotta get back in the groove. I gotta get practicing again. So that's me right now. I'm like trying not to give up, trying to stick with it. And that's awesome you have somebody to draw with, Nicholas. It's always nice having art buddies or inspirations. Another finger. Also 7 with a... Wait. Where's... Nya nya. Nya nya. Where's... See, I also like... This is a perfect example. Like, I can't draw it, like... upside down very well. I have to like move my canvas to this direction to get the like kind of curves and angles right. And you'll find that a lot. Here we go. So there's my rough Circle guide. I'm just gonna merge that down and do a final sketch on top. So this is like essentially all we're doing right now is doing the blind method, but I'm using essentially a real hand model instead of like finding an artist that I admire art. I'm just using a real hand model as my reference, but this is just the same blind method where, you know, I like kind of traced over it to get the feel of the shapes of those boxes and stuff first, and then just did it on my own. And then we can take this at the end and overlay it and kind of see how we did and compare. This is every Tuesday? Yeah, I'll try and pop in somewhere. I've been trying to learn how to properly study. Yeah, absolutely, join in. I do have, so again, if you do ! art playlist, you'll get the VOD for every Tuesday that we have done this in a playlist in order. So you can like go back to, you know, when we studied heads versus when we did body proportions or all sorts of different lessons. So I've been going through and following the lesson. It's by Isham on Coloso. So it's like a website called Coloso. I can actually find the course link. But it is a very expensive course. And, you know, not everybody can afford lessons and stuff like that. So if you want to I'm just basically doing my homework and my study practice every Tuesday following along with this course. If you want to get the course and follow along with me, you can. I'll find the link here for you. But otherwise, if you can't afford it and stuff like that, you're more than welcome to just listen to my VODs and try to learn that way. So I'm not as good of an artist as Isham. I'm still practicing and learning myself, but if anything I learn, I will point out in the playlist. And in our Discord as well, I always have all the course materials too. So you can join the Discord if you want to download anything, like all these worksheets that I did with the hands and explaining everything is all there for you to see as well in the Discord. And it has some of the stuff with Isham and my homework and study sheets as well. So this one was a little bit different because this type of lesson wasn't in Isham's course. But I wanted to go over it because hands get very complicated and I wanted to have a more in-depth guide and discussion with you guys about the proportions and how the hand is created and stuff. So this week is just my own teachings. Thank you. Main problem for me is to actually like sit down and watch it, you know. Absolutely, Nighty Night. Absolutely. That's why I think it is kind of nice doing it with you guys because I'm the same way. So at least with this, I have to, with you guys, sit down every Tuesday night for, is it 3 hours? 6, 7, 7, 8, 8 till 9. Yeah, 3 hours. And I have to study with you guys. So I am always gonna have to do 3 hours a day. So it's kind of like school, right? Where it's like, oh, I'm obligated to show up to school kind of thing. So that's why I find the stream can be helpful for people in that sense. It's helpful for me. to have it set time, you know? What lesson chapter are we on? We are on, I believe, chapter 3.3. Let me double check. Yes, so we're on technically like lesson, I think 13, but in terms of chapters, we'd be chapter 3, lesson 3. And then I think there's 50 total. So we're on 13 of 50 in this course. Although I don't know if every single lesson has 10 chapters. I'll have to look sometime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, because this one is technically only 6. So I thought they said there was 50 videos, but there might be less. Because the first one was, I believe, 10. Chapter 2 is 10 long. Yeah, and the first chapter is only 1 lesson because it's just the intro. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lessons. So, a long ways to go, yeah. Still a long ways to go. After this one is, after hands is feet. Which I have never practiced drawing feet, so that's gonna be an interesting one to do. For myself. Oh, and this is, again, now that we're doing the side profile, you'll notice like my curves, I'm changing my curves again, right? So these are that more bubbled, you know, curving into the finger, whereas the top is more curving up. It's very subtle. Are feet easier to draw? I don't think so. I think they're kind of the same. I just find I have to draw feet way less in my art career, so I've just never really practiced it. So it depends, I guess, how detailed we want to go. Because I'm sure once you get into drawing toes and stuff, that's where it's gonna get really complicated again. So like, in the same way that a hand is just basically 2 squares, a foot is basically a triangle. But once you get into the toes and fingers on hands and feet, that's when things get complicated. That's where the money's at though. It's true. It's very true. I would love to be able to draw nice toes and make big money. They're less wiggly looking, but not really. Ooh, I guess one thing where toes might be easier though, compared to hands, is you can't move and pose your hands nearly as much as like your feet, right? Your feet can only stretch and wiggle and look to a certain degree, right? Whereas hands can get really complicated in their poses, right? So we got that going for us. Oh, there's also an ad break. give a better warning. I apologize. So again, because these fingers are more looking at the side, I'm remembering to have them bump out at each joint a little bit more so you can see those roundness in the joints, and then curve in a little bit where the bone is thinner, right? So again, when you're doing art too, don't be afraid to pull this through your line. We talked about it a little bit, where you draw, right? A little bit behind, because you're gonna draw it, if you go through your line like this, you're gonna draw it more realistically, and it's gonna look more realistic right at that corner piece, right? Really zoom in here, right? So like if I didn't draw it all the way through, you know, like if I just drew this here, if we extended it, right? That's not where it's going to go, because it's going to come up here, right? Does that kind of make sense? Like you might end up changing where the line is, but if you draw it through and then erase after, it's going to go in where it should go, if that makes sense. Sorry for the lack of ad breaks. I keep missing doing art. No worries, Blaze. You're focused. That's good. Stay focused. Do not mind at all. You are learning. In the same way that I keep missing them because I'm teaching. Here we go. Adding in some lines for realism. Heard of hydration. All of them! Do all the things! Hello, Lil Mac, welcome in. I'm gonna do a stretch first. Oh, I need it. And a hydration. It's the last of my tea. Delicious. Oh, I am so proud of myself on this. Hand. I think this looks really good. I'm shocking myself right now. Because that was like not an easy hand pose to do. I think it looks pretty good. Add in a little bit of a fingernail. when I do like my fingernails, I tend to leave them disconnected at the corners again. Very common. Trick. There we go. Ah, I drew it on top of the line, so I can't get rid of it. Well, the guidelines stay. Usually I would take it and move it over, but I drew on the same layer, so classic. If you do that, you can go up to select. So like up at the top, you can't really see them, but up here there's a select button. And then you can do select color grommet. Grommet? I don't know what it's called. And then select black. So this is like a kind of a way to fix it, but not a great way. And then you just pick the black color. And then everything has been selected. And then you copy and paste it over, but it's still not gonna look great. See? And then you can kind of go in and clean up if you had to, but sometimes it works okay, sometimes it doesn't. Sit there and erase lines. Yep, you could also do that, copy paste it and erase it. It's another option. Like do this. For this, it's probably the best method. Thankfully, my guidelines are not too apparent. But it's just practice anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, I forgot to draw a line. Forgot to draw this half. The finger. There we go. Ah! Here we go. Close enough. It always looks better with the guidelines underneath anyways, right? There we go. Close enough. So that is the complicated hand complete. We did it. So not hands, but I've been staring at this model's elbows for hours. These lessons are going to be just as helpful to you, Peachoop. Peachoop's working on the LiLi 3D model. They're doing some weight painting or skinning of the model right now for me because I hate that step. It is the bane of my existence and it makes me so grumpy whenever I have to do skinning on a model. So I'm very thankful to Pichu, who says they don't mind it. Hello, Marina, welcome in. We're just finishing up. And Arabubba, welcome in too. The hand looks like it belongs to the creation of man. It does. It really does. Or as Blaze called it, the graceful poke. I'm doing lovely. Thank you for asking. Yeah, yippee! Skinning, yeah. Skinning is, or weight painting, is the step in 3D modeling where you tell the model basically where, so there's the mesh and then there's the bones of a 3D model, right? If you look at, let me just find a 3D model to explain this. Armature. There you go. Here is an example of a body. Oh, this one actually looks better. Use this one. So this is like the part of rigging. So these pieces here, these pieces are your bones in your model, right? So each one of these is a bone. Each one of these little octahedrals is a bone. And then all of the bones together, so all of the like little points together makes the armature. Right? Get blue. This is an armature, right? So the whole thing gets called the armature, right? And then the yellow part here is the mesh. So all of this is your mesh. All of the like little that like cage looking stuff, right? That's your mesh. So what skinning does, it is the process where you are telling your bone how much should move, how much of the mesh should move with that bone. So like when you move the arm, the bone up, right? It's telling it that it needs to bring this part of this mesh up with it. Does that kind of make sense? Because like you need to tell the computer which part of the arm goes with which bone, essentially, right? So that is what's skinning in 3D modeling. So you do that with like this. That is weight painting. So right now, this person is like the really red area here, right? It's going to move this point, like this point is really locked in. So it moves a lot with the bone that is in here, right? It moves a lot. Whereas where it gets more yellow, you know, it's a little bit less, doesn't as much influence it, right? And then like the blue is like it kind of moves just a little bit, right? So it's just like a gradient. And you're just painting onto the mesh where you want those weights. And that's skinning. It's a very boring process, in my opinion. I hate it. But that's the short form version. So that's what Peachup's working on right now. Looks like the biology a silicone-based alien would have, as opposed to us carbon-based beings. What? the mesh of the 3D model. Rigging. Yeah, it's a step in the rigging process. So there's like the modeling side where you're making the mesh. There's the rigging side, which comes down to like armatures, bones, and weight painting. And then you have the texture painting side of things. So that's like the UV unwrapping maps and actually physically like painting what the model looks like. Adding the color, you know? And then outside of that, you can also have like the animation side of things, and there's a lot to 3D modeling. But that's kind of the roughness of it. Rough breakdown. Put the bone in the mesh, and it won't understand that the mesh needs to move with the bone. Well, it's kind of like you can do a thing, Marina, which is called automatic weights. So the computer, you can tell the computer to just roughly approximate it for me, right? You can do that, and it will just look like the bone. It'll just look at what's closest to that bone, and then automatically put a weight to it. But it's just like approximate, so it doesn't always make the best choices. It's pretty good when it comes to doing things like a humanoid model, but for things, because like computers, you can kind of train the algorithms for that, right? But when it comes to drawing or doing stuff that's more like your own, like maybe a crazy hairstyle or wacky wings or like stuff, it can be a lot better to do it by hand. And even when it comes to doing automatic weights, it's kind of good to understand how to do it from scratch first. It's kind of like in the same way of us doing these, hand models. It's good to understand the proportion and anatomy side of things, right? When we're doing these drawing models, because then we know how to fix things, right? So the same thing with Blender is, you can do the automatic weight, but then when something is looking weird or not right, you don't know how to fix it. So it's good to learn the process from kind of the beginning first so that you can make a better looking end product, right? Yep, Blender does auto weights. Yeah, you can do automatic weights. You parent with automatic weight. It's like you, which way direction is it? I think it's like you click the armature, then you shift click the mesh, and then you control P with automatic weight. I can't remember. It might be backwards. You might click the mesh first and then the armature. I think it's armature then mesh. One of them is for weight painting, and then the other way is for getting into pose mode. Add an example of a very sus elbow in Discord. Uh-oh. Where did you add it? Art General. That is a very sus elbow. Here, I'll copy it so everybody can see what Pichu was doing. That is a sus elbow. I don't know about anybody else. I don't think elbows bend like that. Does it look like cheeks? No cheeks here. That's an elbow. LiLi has a very sus elbow at the moment. Cheeks would be a compliment for it right now. Look, you're trying your best, and that's what matters the most, Pichu. We all have to start somewhere. Looks like landscaping. But as for these, I have actually this all posted already in the Discord, so no need to post these images again. If you want those anatomy stuff that I did, it is again in the Discord. There's the Isham Coloso course channel that we have in our art chatting section. And in the pinned messages are all the course materials. And again, mine, I have both a PSD and a Clip Studio file because I work in Clip Studio. I think a lot of you might be working in Clip Studio, so I just put the Clip Studio file there. But if you are not working in Clip Studio, there is a PSD file that you can open in any art program that you are using there as well. So use the top one if you don't have Clip Studio, download the bottom one if you have Clip Studio. And then for the hands lesson, there is a hands folder as well. What I might end up doing is, let's just, before I close, let me look at my homework. Because I'm not sure if I wanted to split this hand lesson up into 2 classes or 1. So Ilsham only has 1 course, but I've been kind of wondering if we needed a second one for hands because they do get very complicated. Let me see what my homework is from Isham. Hands a complex structure, change shape, movement, thinking with groups makes it easier. Your fingers are not parallel with one another. The joints of the fingers are not connected to one another in a straight line, but in a curved line. Thumb can only be bent inward. These are good tips. Trace the blue hand and draw the hand. So basically they're just getting you to trace over. We'll see. We'll see. We might do hands again next week, just for like added practice, because I think most artists struggle with hands, and I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a second course go at for the hands. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we feel. We need a cone hand lesson. We could try cones next time, maybe when I get a little bit better. Cones are not easy to draw. Also 7 with a cone. Get those in there. But yeah, that'll be it for today for the lesson. Great work, everybody. Patchy. Congratulations. You made it through another lesson. We're still going strong on the learning. Everybody's doing so good. Let's go raid Schwa. They're finishing up with some coloring for the piece that I raided them last time while they were sketching it, and this looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely beautiful. So yeah, we'll go give them some more love because I am loving their art style. I guess just an art raid, right? Art study raid. Art study buddy. I like that. Art study buddy is a good raid command. So feel free to use the study buddy command if you have my emotes. If you don't have them, then we'll use this raid message too. The Foxfire raid is there that you can also steal. As for next stream, tomorrow we have, oh, LiLi question. Did you say the one with the joint dots is in the Discord? The joint dots. The joint dots? The one like where I break down the anatomy and I break down and do all the proportions? The study sheet. Yeah, like this stuff that I did, right? This stuff. This one and this one. All this breakdown stuff is in the clip file. I have that uploaded for you guys so you can draw and trace over it and learn from it. It is all there. It's just in a file folder, so you just do it. Yep, it's pinned.
it is pinned. Yep, it's in the clip file. Yeah. And I will, before stream is over, I will put my hand examples in the Coloso chat too, once I'm off stream. So all these will be up in the Discord as well too, like all the different examples that we did, like these guys. So yeah, that will all be there. But yeah, so for the rest of the streams for this week, tomorrow we will have our Weeb Wednesdays in the Discord. So if you want to join in, we are going to be watching Dungeon Meshi, or also Delicious Dungeon in English. I believe both those titles everybody knows. So yeah, thank you for the Discord link. If you want to watch anime with us tomorrow at 6 till around 7:15 or so Pacific, we watch 3 episodes of anime a week. And yeah, tomorrow we're just starting a fresh new anime. So we're watching episodes 1, 2, and 3. So if you're interested, come join. I hear it's like a super wholesome, wonderful anime, so I'm excited to see what it's all about. So yeah, that will be tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we're probably gonna be playing a game of some sort. Maybe more Dave the Diver, I'm not sure. I do not have my week planned out this week, but there will be some sort of stream on Thursday, again at 6 p.m. Pacific. And then on Sunday as well, we will have a stream in the morning at 10. Oh, Death's Door? Maybe. That could be a good one, Blaze. That could be a good one. But yeah, so we'll figure out whatever we're gonna play for games on those two. But yeah, otherwise next Tuesday we will be back at some more art, possibly more hands, or maybe we'll move on to feet depending how we feel. So yeah. Let me grab the raid up. Raid. Shwa. There it is. I go and try to figure out something for Thursday. Oh, it's your birthday! Happy early birthday, 7. If you end up coming in stream, remind me, and I'll sing happy birthday to you. That's the classic. If it's your birthday and there's a stream, you get a birthday song by LiLi. Just like Bibby got one earlier today. I need to get my art study buddy raid command again. There it is. All right. Thank you again, Foxfires, for joining me and keeping me on my art journey. I appreciate it. And yeah, that'll be it for today. So thank you. Switch to here. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone it is for you, Foxfires. I hope it's a good one. If you are off to bed, then sweet dreams. Otherwise, let's go give Schwa some wonderful art study buddy raid. Bye-bye.